Polynomials, Quiz 4 review. Okay, so we have two binomials. We want to go ahead and multiply these together. So I'm going to say x plus 8. Then I'm going to go x minus 8. This is my first, this is my last, this is my first, and this is my last. Go ahead and put down your double smiles here. So my first terms is just x times x, so that's x to the second. My inside smile is 8x, well that's 8x. My outside smile is a negative 8x. So I'm going to write this as a positive 8x. I'm going to write this as a negative 8x. And then I want to finish with the positive 8 times a negative 8. 8 times 8 is 64, but since there's a negative sign there, it's a negative 64. So I'm going to go x to the second. I want to bring these middle terms together. So the middle terms here, we're going to say 8 minus 8. So 8 minus 8 is 0. So we can cancel these out. So I have x to the second minus 64. Now, if I go back and I look at the original problem here, the first terms are the same and the second terms are opposite. And we said that if you have the same and then the opposite, you can expect the middle terms to become 0. And again, if you think of the words 0 and opposite, they both have a letter O. You know, an O can also look like a 0. So if the first term's the same and the second term is opposite, you're going to lose the middle term. The middle term is just going to become 0, so you don't have to write it down. So again, you can kind of keep that in mind when you have a problem like this. So if it disappears like it did, like the middle term disappears, you can always go back and check it. So let me press the space bar here, go minus, and then we go 64. Okay, next question. Now, right here I have one parentheses, and I want to first make sure it's in standard form. Well, it goes w to the fourth, w to the third, so it is in standard form. So I'll go parentheses 8w to the fourth plus w to the third. And now we're squaring it, so that means we're going to write it down twice. So that's what that 2 means. This 2 means you're going to write it down 2 times. So let me repeat the parentheses again. So I'm going to go parentheses 8w to the fourth plus w to the third. First, last, first, last. Double smiles and then double smiles. So first is going to be 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And I have 4 w's and 4 w's, so it's w to the 8th. Inside smile, we could call this a 1 if we need to. We could put that as a 1. And we could say 1 times 8 is 8 because the number doesn't change. And there's 7 of those. We can take the outside smile. So we have the 8w to the fourth times w to the third. Well, right here we have the same thing. We have 8w to the 7th. So we go plus 8w to the 7th plus 8w to the 7th. So again, you know, we had one parentheses here, but we're squaring it, so we double the parentheses. So the parentheses written down twice. By it being the same parentheses, you're going to have the same middle terms. So you expect the middle terms to be the same, and they are. They're both 8w to the 7th. Now let's finish it with the last terms here. And the last term is I have w to the third, w to the third. Well, that becomes w to the 6th because I have 3 w's and 3 w's. So I go 64 w to the 8th. Now the middle term here I just add. What's 8 plus 8? Well, 8 plus 8 is 16. So I go plus 16 w to the 7th plus, finish up last one, w to the 6. And we do have our answer in standard form because the highest degree is 8. Then second place is w to the 7th, and then the third place is w to the 6th. So let's go ahead and type this in. So we go 64. We go w to the 8, so we're going to go AB key to the 8th. Press your space bar. We go plus, then we go 16. Then we go W, AB to the 7th, space bar, plus sign. Then we go W to the 6th. And notice I didn't write that as an exponent, so let me press that AB key and write that as a 6. So let's go and check this, see if this is correct. Okay, next one. We got two binomials. One times them together. So we're going to first write this in standard form. So the letter must be ahead of the single number because that single number is a constant that always goes at the end. The second parentheses, this is a negative x, and then your 2 is after. Your 2 is positive, so we write down a plus sign. So this is first, this is last, this is first, and this is last. Double smiles. So we go x and x. So right here we have two x's here. So we write down our two x's. But realize there's a negative sign there, so you can just reattach the negative sign in front. You don't have to put down a 1 if you don't want, but you can. It's up to you. So if you're comfortable writing a negative 1, you could write down 1s here if you like, or you could leave the negative sign by itself. Only thing I did was take the x and the x. That gives me x to the second, and then I have the negative sign in front. So my inside smile is a negative 2x. My outside smile is a positive 2x. So I have a negative 2x, and then I have a positive 2x. Now I want to finish. I want to take 2 times 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. So I can say, you know, negative x to the second. If you want to write a 1, you could put down a 1. Okay, now I can look at my middle terms. So negative 2 plus 2. Well, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. That means that these fall out and you just have a plus 4. So if we do look at our original problem, our first terms here in the original problem were 2's, are positive, they're the same. But then the last terms are opposite. So again, anytime you have opposite for that last term there, and the front terms are the same, you're going to get a 0. The middle terms are going to become 0. They're just going to disappear. So we're going to say negative. We're going to say x, AB key 2, parentheses, plus sign 4. Okay, so look at the next one. We got a single parentheses here, but it's being squared, so we're going to have to write it down twice. So we got 2a to the 6 minus 6a to the third, and then to the second. So that means I'm going to have to write down the same parentheses again. I also want to check it. Is it in standard form? It is, because it goes 6 and then 3. So let's go ahead and remove this. So let's go with our parentheses. So let's go 2a to the 6 minus 6a to the third. First, last, first, and last. Double smiles. So my first term, we're going to take 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 6a, a to the 6, a to 6. Well, that's going to be a to the 12th. Now for my inside smile, that's a negative 12. Negative 12 actually, and a to the 9th. So we got letter a to the 9th. I got negative 12 and a to the 9th. So negative 12, a to the 9th, negative 12, a to the 9th. Let's finish it. Negative 6 times a negative 6 is a positive 36. And then notice you have 3a's and 3a's. So 3a's and 3a's, that's going to be a to the 6. So now we can write this as 4 a to the 12. You got a minus 12 and a minus 12. Well, you went to your mom, you got $12. You went back to your mom, you got $12 again. So 12 plus 12 is 24. But you need to pay your mom back because that's a loan. So this is a minus 24a to the 9th. And then we're going to finish it with the plus 36a to the 6. Now again, notice you have the same parentheses. Parentheses are the same, so you're going to have the same middle terms. In this case here, negative 12a to the 9th and negative 12a to the 9th. So kind of keep that in mind when you're doing some of these problems here. So you go 4, you go A, you go A, B key, you press in 12, space bar, we go minus sign, we go 24A, A, B key, we press in the 9, we press space bar, then we go plus 36, we got the A, and then we go A, B key, and we take this to the 6. Okay, next question. What we have here is we have two binomials, but if we look at it, the letters in the back, the constants in the front. So let's write these in standard form. So we'll go 4x plus 3. This is a negative 4x and a 3. There is no sign here. Put a plus sign there. And let me put down my x there. So we go first and last, first and last. Double smiles. Okay, so start off with the first terms here. A positive 4 times a negative 4. That's going to be a negative 16. And I see that I have two x's, so we say x to the second. As for my middle term here, this is a negative 12x. My outer term is a positive 12x. So I got a negative 12x and I got a positive 12x. My last terms there is 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. So I got negative 16x to the second. I want to bring the middle terms together. So I have a negative 12x and a, whoops, forget about the x here. Let me restart because we only care about the coefficient. So let me start again. So we only care about the coefficient because we already know they're x's. So we're going to say negative 12 plus 12. Well, you need 12. Actually, you borrow 12 and you need 12, so the whole thing is 0. This will cancel out, and then you finish up with the plus 9. Now let's take a look at the original problem and see, was the last term opposite to each other? Well, the first terms are the same, but the last terms are opposite. If the last terms are opposite, so you got a positive 4x and a negative 4x, that means that your middle terms here are going to be opposite. So again, the parentheses are not the same. If the parentheses were the same, then your middle terms are going to be the same. But if your parentheses, if your last term are opposite, the 4x and the negative 4x are opposite, then you're going to have an opposite term here. But again, you know, you got to make sure that the beginning terms are the same at least. But in this case here, we do see a negative 12x and a positive 12x. So let's go ahead and type this in. So we'll go negative 16x, and we're going to press A, B key. We're going to press in a 2 space bar, and then we're going to press in plus 9.